Beta, good morning. We'll just start with the transcription. Let everybody join quickly. Okay, I'll just show you the first slide by the time. Just read it and let me admit others, then we're going to start. Yes, just observe the first slide on the screen. DNA replication, we have already finished that day. Just try to get a I hope you've understood, Beta. What are we going to study today? We're going to study a very important topic of the chapter, that is transcription. Okay. Do not get confused between translation, transcription, replication. These are very close terms. The process of copying genetic information from one strand of the DNA into RNA. Whatever genetic information is present in DNA has to be transferred to the RNA. So this process in which the genetic information is copied from one strand of DNA into RNA. Remember, it is not DNA into DNA, it is DNA into RNA. Adenosine, see here what is going to happen is adenine forms base pair with U. Corresponding base pairs, we always said that adenine binds with thymine and cytosine with, yes, come on, tell me, A with T, C with?
G.
Yes, G. Here, see what is going to happen now. In such a case, adenine will not bind with thymine, rather it is going to bind with uracil. So two things very clear about this process that we are studying today. Number one, that this is transcription, not translation. The genetic information from one strand of DNA into RNA, and adenine is not going to bind with thymine. Instead, it is going to bind with uracil. Okay. I'll be going into details. I'll tell you about this. It's fine. Gradually. See, this is the enzyme that we have, DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. Since we have both DNA and RNA in the scene, so the name of the enzyme is DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. What are we going to call this enzyme as? DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. See, RNA polymerase, this enzyme, if I talk about, or this big enzyme that you can see over here, We've just written RNA polymerase, but its full name is DNA dependent RNA polymerase because it actually depends upon DNA. Who's going to catalyze this polymerization? This enzyme, DNA dependent RNA polymerase, will catalyze it. I already told you when I discussed yes, prime to 3 prime. 3 prime 5 prime acts as a template strand and 5 prime 3 prime will act as a coding strand. देखो बच्चा, polymerization is going to start in 5 prime to 3 prime direction. So that means the main coding is going to start in this direction. This is how we remember 5 prime to 3 prime. So this strand which goes from 5 prime to 3 prime is known as the coding strand. This is known as the coding strand. And just the opposite that we have 3 prime. Observe this in the slide. Let's see 5 prime to 3 prime over here. See, can you see this pink one over here? This is starting from here 5 prime. This one, this pink structure that you can see over here. This one going till here and finishing here at 3 prime. So this 5 prime to 3 prime is which strand?
Coding strand.
Yes. And let's start with this bluish gray structure which is starting from 3 prime. So this is here. Will be known as which one?
Template strand.
Template strand. We'll go slow because it's important. First of all, we said information, genetic information will be actually copied from one strand of DNA into the RNA. And adenine will not bind with thymine, it will bind with uracil. Second, we talked about this important enzyme. We'll talk about it, how this is going to play a very important role. The name of the enzyme is DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. This will catalyze polymerase. So 5 prime 3 prime is your coding strand and 3 prime 5 prime is your template strand. Both strands are not copied during transcription. This is another part. See, we had two strands. Okay, we had one strand which was known as the coding strand and the other strand which was known as template strand. So we generally assume that both of them will be copied. But no, both of them are not copied during transcription. There are two reasons for this. Number one, the code complicates the translation. Now, when we go for coding of proteins, then in the first strand and the second strands, the codes are different. The codes are different in both the strands. So if both the strands translation starts at the same time, then it will become very, very complicating. It's going to become very complicating. So both the strands, okay, will not be copied together during transcription. If two RNA molecules are produced simultaneously, this would be complementary to each other. We also said that we are going to pass on the DNA and one strand was of DNA, children, and the other was of what? RNA. Okay, see this. One DNA, we are going to pass on, see what did we say? Copying information from one strand of DNA into RNA. So if we take two molecules of RNA, if you then each strand of DNA, if it is producing one RNA, then how many RNA molecules will we get in such a case? We'll get two RNA molecules if both of them are copied then. If we get two RNA molecules, obviously they will be single stranded. They would be complementary. And if we have two RNA strands close to each other who are complementary, immediately they'll form a double helical structure and they will form a double stranded RNA and then translation will be prevented. The process will not continue. So why both the strands are not copied together? There are two reasons. Number one, the first strand and the second strand, both of them have their own separate, if you see, both of them have separate codes. So this will form another protein, this will form another protein. A lot of complications will be there. This is one thing. Second beta, if you see this was the template strand, this is the sequence of bases in the template strand. And this is the sequence of bases in the template strand. RNA is built from this. Okay, template strand. From the template strand, what is built is RNA. Is it okay? And coding strand, this will be copied to RNA. That I'll explain it to you later. Just understand that RNA is built from only this. Which strand? Template strand. If both the strands were producing RNA, then one problem would come. We would get two RNA molecules. And both of them would be complementary. Bind with each other and form a double-stranded RNA. And double-stranded RNA is no use for us when we are doing translation. Understand this? RNA is built from which strand?
Template strand.
Template.
Yes, listen now. If the segment of DNA between the sites of initiation and termination of transcription, देखो, ये देखो बच्चा, transcription unit. What do you mean by a transcription unit? Which is between the site of initiation and the site of termination. Supposing here the process is going to start, this is going to be site of initiation, and the process, if it finishes at this end, this is the site of termination. So that part of DNA, that segment of DNA, this much, which is between the site of initiation and the site of termination. This is known as what? This is known as a transcription unit. It's a small part, but we have. So this transcription unit has basically three regions. The initial part, the first initial part that you see where transcription starts, we just called this site as what? This was what site? See this initiation site. Here we are going to have a binding site for RNA polymerase. This is promoter. What is this called? Promoter. See, this part is this region, the entire region is called promoter. The enzyme I just talked about in the beginning, this one, if you see, RNA polymerase, it has to come and bind somewhere, first of all. So this part is going to act as a site where this enzyme is going to bind. Now, where is it located, beta? It is located towards the 5' end upstream. Okay. Look at this towards, where are we going? If we talk about the upstream, then this one is towards the 5' promoter region. For number one, this is the binding site for RNA polymerase, and it's located towards the 5' end upstream. Second is the structural gene over here. This is the region between the promoter and the terminator where transcription is actually going to take place. It is just between the promoter and the terminator, and transcription will take place at this point. Okay, this region, this is this area. We have this terminator, site where transcription is going to stop. Okay, this is terminator. If you go towards downstream, if you see, then this is 3' end downstream. So this is promoter area, this is the structural gene area, and this is the terminator. This was your template strand, and this is your coding strand. Please do not forget that RNA is built from which strand?
Template strand.
Template.
Both would make RNAs, there would be complications, but because we just said the template strand will make RNA, not the coding strand. This will not make. If both of them were making, then we would get a double-stranded RNA. That is not useful for us. So we were talking about a transcription unit. The part of the DNA or the segment of the DNA, which is between the initiation site and the termination site, is what we call as transcription unit. It can be divided into three regions. For our convenience, we have done this. Is called promoter because this will promote the process by giving a binding site for the enzyme RNA polymerase. Then the second region is called the structural gene. This is between the promoter and the terminator. Transcription will take place here. And the last is the termination. Terminator, transcription is going to stop here. Again, a quick part what we did transcription unit just with the help of figures. Segment of DNA, structural gene and terminator. Please see this beta. Okay. See, template strand and non-template strand. When I say non-template strand, what do I mean?
Coding strand.
Yes, very good. So this is your promoter. What is going to bind at this area, children, so that this process is promoted?
RNA polymerase.
RNA polymerase. I said that this is the place where transcription is actually seen. And then here, this is the terminator. The process is going to start. This is transcription termination site. This is transcription initiation site. It's going to start from here. Okay. What is gene? It's a functional unit of inheritance. We know it is the DNA sequence coding for an RNA. DNA sequence coding for RNA. Okay. It could be mRNA. It full form of mRNA.
Messenger RNA.
Okay. What is
Messenger
rRNA?
RNA.
Good beta. What is rRNA?
Ribosomal.
Yes, it is ribosomal RNA. And what is tRNA? Yes, beta. Yes. So any RNAs. So when a DNA sequence will code for RNA, it could make any RNA. It could be mRNA, it could be rRNA, or it could be tRNA. So this is gene. Now what is a cistron? See this word. This is also a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide during protein synthesis. Polypeptide during protein synthesis. We know when proteins are made, lot of what is, we say polynucleotide is a chain of what? Nucleotides. See this, you know that is polynucleotide and this is polypeptide. Why do we call the protein chain as a polypeptide chain? Because we've got peptide bonds, okay, within the nucleotides. When they combine beta nucleotides, different nucleotides to form amino acids, you remember amino acids?
Yes.
Amino acids, yes, amino acids form a linear chain to form what? Proteins. So in an amino acid, we have one amino group and we've got one carboxylic group. What happens is when one amino acid binds with another amino acid, the carboxylic acid group of one amino acid binds with the amino group of the second amino acid. So the bond which is made between the carboxylic and the amino group is called peptide bond. That bond is what we call as peptide bond. So one amino acid to second amino acid, we have a peptide bond. Second amino acid to third amino acid, we have another peptide bond. So we got a series of peptide bonds. That is why proteins are also known as polypeptides. We also call them as polypeptides. So what is cistron now? That part of our DNA which codes, which arranges the nucleotides in the bases in such a way, okay, beta, that what we get is a polypeptide during protein synthesis. When proteins have to be made, we need a polypeptide. When we say polypeptide, we mean a long chain of amino acids which are binded together with peptide bonds. This is the largest element of a gene. The largest element of a gene is what we call as cistron. What is it called? Cistron. So what is gene? This is functional unit. Genes will code for RNA. Remember, genes will actually code for what? RNA. Cistron is a segment of DNA only, but this will actually code for protein synthesis. Understand the two differences between them. Gene is a functional unit of inheritance. Gene is actually what? It is a DNA sequence, which will code for RNAs. But cistron is that DNA sequence which will code for protein synthesis. The structural gene in a transcription unit is of two types. When we started, we said here we have promoter, here we have terminator, in the middle we have a gene, that is structural gene. So this structural gene in a transcription unit is of two types. Either it could be a monocistronic structural gene or it could be a polycistronic structural gene. Monocistronic structural genes are also called split genes. And you will find these mono kind of genes in eukaryotes. Okay, let us understand more about this. When we talked about a transcription unit, we had three regions. We talked about a promoter region, we talked about a structural gene, and then the last part was a terminator. We said that the process of transcription actually takes place in the middle area, that is the structural gene area. Promoter side to only the enzyme is going to come and bind. So beta, that middle part that we had the structural gene, that is of two types. Number one, monocystronic. You will find in this eukaryotes. What happens over here? Let us understand. The coding sequence, exons or express sequences, those sequences which express themselves, exons, are interrupted by introns, intervening sequences which cannot express themselves. Please see this over here. These green ones are exons. These are those sequences which can express themselves. Okay, and these are introns. They remain inside, they're not able to express themselves. If you see, we do not have exon unit chain continuous. Exons are interrupted because in the middle, what we have got introns. So exons appear in processed mRNA. Look here, introns do not appear in processed mRNA. So when mRNA is processed from DNA, then only what appears is exons, not the introns. So what happens when you get a RNA processed, you will get it in parts. This will process, this will not process, this will process, this will not process, this will process, this will not process. So what are we going to get? It's in parts, it's in splits. That is why these genes are known as split genes. Some parts are able to express themselves. In the middle, they are interrupted by introns. They're not able to express themselves. Exons appear in processed mRNA, but introns do not appear. Let us talk about polycistronic structural genes. They are found in prokaryotes. Here you will not find any kind of split genes. See, gene 1 followed by gene 2 followed by gene 3. Here you'll have gene 1. This is expressing. So this is gene 1. Here you have gene 2, gene 3, interrupted in the middle by introns, which could not express themselves. So this is a split gene. Monocystronic structural gene is called as a split gene. And this is a polycistronic structural gene. Here we do not have split genes. When we talked about a transcription unit, we talked about a promoter area, we had a terminator area, and in the middle we had the structural gene. Structural gene is of two types, monocystronic and polycistronic. Monocystronic is found in eukaryotes. But this is not continuous. You got exon, introns, those which express sequences, they're exons, which do not express, these are introns. So these are interrupted. You do not have a continuous chain of genes. So this is monocystronic gene or split gene. But in prokaryotes, there are no split genes if you see. We had an exon, another exon, another exon. So we got what? We got gene 1, gene 2, and gene 3. We are not having any split genes. That is why this gene is called as the polycistronic structural gene. In prokaryotes, synthesis of all types of RNA are catalyzed by a single RNA polymerase. In prokaryotes, whether it is mRNA or rRNA or tRNA, any RNA, if the synthesis is to be done, one single enzyme is enough, and that is RNA polymerase. That is enough in prokaryotes. We don't need another enzyme in prokaryotes. Transcription has 3 steps: initiation, elongation, termination. See, the first step is initiation. Remember, we had the initiation site. So if you see in this entire sequence of DNA, only something is happening in this area. This area was the initiation site. This is the elongation site. We said the actual process of transcription takes place in the middle where we have a structural gene. So you should see that this side and this side, nothing is happening. What is happening over here is in the middle. Terminator we had here. So termination site is this. The entire other sequence, nothing is happening. So we remember the 3 parts of the transcription unit. We had the initiation area, promoter, structural gene, and the last was what we call as the terminator. So on that basis only, we have these steps: initiation, elongation, and termination. We're talking about prokaryotes, children. Okay. Now let's understand what happens in initiation. We said only one enzyme is sufficient, and that enzyme is RNA polymerase. Please see this. This is RNA polymerase over here. RNA polymerase enzyme binds at the promoter site of the DNA. See, this was the orange one. Here you come here. This was the promoter site. This will bind here. First step, initiate. Just started now. RNA polymerase enzyme will bind at which site? See this?
Initiation.
Yes. Promoter site in the initiation area or the promoter area. Very good. Now, as soon as this will bind beta, local unwinding will take place. Local means not in all the areas. We say now, this is a local market. That means it is not in the entire city, only in this area. So here, unwinding of this double strand helix is going to take place. If you can see this yellow part, this is unwinding because it attached here. So unwinding will take place only in this area. इधर तो सब double strand है, इधर भी double strand है. आपको ये देखना है बेटा. Only in this area unwinding हो रहा है. Can you see this yellow one and this RNA polymerase over here? So two very important things are happening. Number one, RNA polymerase is going to bind at the promoter site. And second, what is happening, the most important thing जो हो रहा है यहाँ पे is the unwinding of the DNA double helix. अगर आप इसको देखेंगे carefully, you're going to have a factor over here. See this sigma factor over here, initiation factor. This is present in the enzyme RNA polymerase. This is going to initiate the RNA synthesis. The process is going to start. We are going to get an RNA from a DNA. That is what we say is transcription. So here it is this one which is going to help us. This factor, sigma factor, also known as which factor? Initiation factor. Okay. There are three things which are happening over here. Let me do this with you. This RNA polymerase enzyme will bind at this site over here. See this? Because of this, unwinding will start. Unwinding of the double helix will start. We have a factor over here, sigma factor, initiation factor. This will start the process, initiate the process of RNA synthesis. RNA synthesis has already started because of the sigma factor. So RNA chain process has already started, and this will move in which? This will move in which direction? 5' 3' direction. Okay. See here, this broke up. This has what has broken up is here. So this will be promoted. RNA chain synthesis will take place in which direction? If you see, ये वाले पार्ट में अटैच हुआ था ना बेटा, ये नीचे वाले में, ये देखो यहाँ पे अटैच हो गया है. ये तो ठीक है, इंटैक्ट है. So 5' 3' direction. Now the activated ribonucleoside triphosphates are added. Now we'll keep on adding over here. What we'll keep on adding is, ribonucleoside triphosphates. Ribose sugars and nucleoside with phosphates. It could be adenosine, it could be guanine, it could be uracil, cytosine, anything. So we have these triphosphate ribonucleosides which will keep on adding. Once the process is started, supposing let's talk about this RNA, these bases will keep on adding, keep on adding, keep on adding, keep on adding. See, this is the direction of transcription. We said 5' to 3'. So over here, if you can see G, C, A, C, U, G. So these are all added, keep on adding. एक बार initiation हो गया, so they'll keep on adding. Remember, this is complementary to the base sequence in the DNA template. This will be complementary to the base sequence that we have in the DNA template. This we have to be very careful. Whatever RNA bases यहाँ पे लगेगा, that will be in sequence. They will be in correspondence to what? Complementary to the DNA base sequence. That has to be taken care. Very important. That is to be taken. See, this was T over here. So we are going to have A. If this is C, this is G, this is T, this is A. So this is how it has to be complementary to the DNA template. Initiation has already started because of this factor. After initiation starts, we'll have these lined up over here. These are ribonucleoside triphosphates. They will line up in such a fashion that they're complementary to the base sequence in the DNA template. Process is continuing. Now, a terminator factor is going to enter over here, beta. Okay. Till now we had initiation factor, promoter factor. Now a termination factor is going to come into the scene. This will bind to the RNA polymerase. Okay, if you see from here, RNA synthesis has already started. See now, we have this factor binding over here. Fine, Rho factor, termination factor. This is Rho factor. This will bind to the RNA polymerase. See, can you see this Rho factor over here? अभी तो सब कुछ ठीक ठाक चल रहा था, ये यहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ था बेटा, आगे जाता जा रहा है आरएनए पॉलीमरेज. इफ यू सी दिस आरएनए पॉलीमरेज, वो यहाँ पे बाइंड होता है. इनिशियली वी टॉक्ड अबाउट इट कि वो यहाँ पे बाइंड हुआ था. ओके, ये देखिए यहाँ पे आया. अब आगे जाते 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 इट हैज रीच्ड द लास्ट एरिया नाउ, आरएनए पॉलीमरेज. सो दिस कीप्स ऑन मूविंग. दिस आरएनए पॉलीमरेज इट बाइंडेड हियर, देन इट हैज रीच्ड मिडिल ओवर हियर. अब वो लास्ट की तरफ आ रहा है. So we have this factor binding to this. This is the Rho factor. Now I have not written sigma over here. This is the Rho factor. Rho factor. This is called termination factor. Now this will bind to RNA polymerase and it will terminate or it will stop the process of transcription. Okay, this is termination. What is this process called as? This is termination. First we had, let me go back to this. Yes, let's talk about this. We had this factor, sigma factor, it binded to the initiation site, because of which unwinding took place. And because of this factor, the process of RNA synthesis has already started. Now elongation, because we are going to have added up more bases over here are being added up. This is elongation. The chain is becoming longer. If you see, this is becoming longer. RNA which is being synthesized is longer. So we call it as elongation process. This is continuing from here. It has reached here. From here, it has reached here. And then we'll move on to the termination. What happens is once this reaches here, your enzyme, DNA-dependent RNA polymerase, this Rho factor will combine with it. Okay, Rho factor. Rho factor will combine. And this Rho factor is which factor? What is this factor called as? Rho factor?
Termination factor.
Initiation factor.
Yes, beta. Now we do not have the sigma factor binding up with this enzyme. Rather, it is the Rho factor. This is the terminating factor. This will terminate or stop the process of transcription. Let me have it with you. We still have a few minutes, 3-4 minutes. Let me see what we've done. Let's go back. Yes. Process of copying genetic information from one strand to another. Adenine is going to pair with uracil instead of thymine. See, we had two strands, coding strand and template strand. Both strands are not copied because if both of them will be copied, they have their own sequences. Both of them will code for different proteins and there would be a lot of confusion over here. That is why. Second reason why both of them are not copied is because we'll get two RNAs. If we get two RNAs, then what will happen? There'll be double-stranded RNAs. So the process would automatically stop. So we do not need double-stranded RNAs. So that is why only one strand is going to build an RNA. We talked about three regions: transcription unit, segment of DNA, which is between the promoter and the terminator site. See, this entire region is what we call as the transcription unit. It has three parts. Number one was your promoter. Number two is your structural gene. And number three was the terminator area. Okay, this was your terminator area. Promoter, most important because what is going to bind over here? Yes.
RNA polymerase.
Yes, beta. RNA polymerase will bind over here and initiate the process. Structural gene is the area between both of them where what is going to take place, and the main process will take place here only. So this is one part where we need to be more careful that yes, this is the area where this is going to take place. Then we have this terminator area. Transcription is going to stop here. Genes coding for RNAs cistrons coding for proteins. This is what you need to remember. We said monocistronic and polycistronic genes. In eukaryotes, you have these genes. Exons are interrupted by introns, those which are not able to express themselves into genes, those sequences. So you have split genes, 1 gene, 2 gene, 3 gene, split, not together. This is monocistronic gene or split gene. And these are polycistronic genes which are found in prokaryotes. So P for poly, P for prokaryotes, and monocistron in eukaryotes. We had 3 steps in transcription: initiation, elongation, and termination. Initiation, we had this one, this enzyme of yours, RNA polymerase, this binds up here at this area, initiation site or the promoter site. As soon as this winds up, there's an unwinding of the double helix. There's a factor which is present in RNA polymerase. This will already start the process of protein synthesis. Now, second is what? See, elongation. Process has already started. We'll have more nucleotide bases. See, beta, they're going to be complementary. See over here. Okay, complementary to the DNA. And it will become longer and longer and longer. See, RNA polymerase is moving from here to here. It was earlier binded here. Then it has reached here in the center. RNA इतना already बन गया है. ये आगे जाता जाएगा RNA polymerase and RNA strand लंबा होता रहेगा. Now last part, there is this factor which binds with this. That is known as which factor? This is your rho factor. Rho factor is known as what? Initiation or termination?
Termination.
Termination.
And initiation factor was called as what? This is rho factor. What factor was that?
Sigma.
Yes, that was the sigma factor. So which factor is responsible for initiation in a transcription?
Sigma.
Sigma.
Okay. Which factor is responsible for termination of the process?
Rho factor.
Yes, it is the rho factor. Okay. Then this will bind over here. And this is the one which is going to terminate. So 3 steps we had: initiation, elongation, termination, promoter, coding strand, terminator. See, RNA polymerase is here. mRNA. Which RNA is made now? mRNA. But I told you we could have mRNA, rRNA, or tRNA. So this is simple. We talked about this, but this is going to be a little typical one. The next one. In this, we had only one enzyme playing the role. We did transcription in prokaryotes today, beta. In prokaryotes, we don't need many enzymes. Just one enzyme is sufficient. Okay, DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. What was the name of the enzyme?
DNA-dependent RNA.
DNA-dependent RNA polymerase.
Okay, bacha. Time for your break now. Okay, let's meet later. God bless you all. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, bacha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, dear. God bless.